Hey everybody, welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, I have to do it every single time because I want everybody to have as much fun as we have here in this community. Yes, I want everybody to come in and be a part of it. And let me tell you, it is the best community on these internet streets. I kid you not. And if you want to be a part of it, this is what you need to do. Drop down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight the nemesis. Whoo, the beast, the algorithm dragging me up and down these internet streets and has no shame. Also, I just want to give a shout out and a big thank you to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Let me tell you, it helps. It really does. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, look over there in the corner right over there. That's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look in the other corner over there. That's our super thanks button, and all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some super thanks. First up is Ella Gully, the ride or die. I'm telling you, she is the ride or die among ride or dies. She is. She's always coming through. She's a cornerstone of this community. She is just everything, and she is always supporting. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Ella. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Also, Christina Trejo. Christina, thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for being a part of this community. Yes, thank you for supporting. It means everything. And just thank you for being in the comments. Just, you are everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being a part of this community, this tribe. And next up is Kevon Slims. Yes, Kevon is such a ride or die. I mean, always coming through, always supporting, always in the comments. I mean, what can I say about Kevon? And I can say this, he is always dropping the wisdom. If you see his comment, read it because you're going to learn something. I'm just saying. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kevon. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. You make it better. And Elizabeth Cumberbatch. Elizabeth is a ride or die among ride or die. She is. She's always coming through. And she is so smart. She is always dropping the wisdom. She is always down with the read. She is so faithful and so supportive of this community. She is just chef's kiss. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we're going to talk on the other side. But also, you will notice that I added Jane Press to this particular reel because I left Jane off of the reel last night. And I'm telling you, whew, I felt so bad about that because listen, y'all's dedication, y'all's support for this channel, for this community is so important to me. I never, ever want to slight anybody. I am so appreciative for everything y'all do. And I definitely do not want to not give you recognition for it. So I did not put Jane's name on the reel last night, but you best believe it is on here tonight and it's number one. All right, y'all, we're going to play this and then we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out and a big, huge thank you to Ella Gully, to Christina Trejo, to Kevin Slims, to Elizabeth Cumberbatch. Y'all are everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for seeing something in the read and wanting to support it. And thank you for being a part of this community. It means so very much. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. And also, I want to apologize again to Jane Press for leaving her name off the reel last night. Listen, Jane, you were everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for just being a ride or die. Thank you for being here. And thank you for hanging in there with me all the way through, supporting and giving me a encouraging word. It seems like you know exactly when I need it and you always come through. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all do, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, I have been all over. I peeked my head in on Blue Sky. I went to TikTok, stayed over there for a little while. The squatties over there are just doing God's work. I'm just going to leave it right there. Then I went to Instagram. Stalked Megan for a while. Megan has really started to post again. If you hadn't been over to her page, please go over there. It's a lot of new stuff over there. She's anticipating with Love Megan, dropping on the 26th. So go over there and see what Megan's up to. I also peeked in to see what the Instagram squatties was up to, and boy, they're talking about everything, but mostly they're dragging the trolls because they are in full meltdown mode. I'm telling you, they are coming up with some of the craziest things. I'm going to share one with you a little later. Fever minded? Yes, indeed. I have never saw so much fever-minded nonsense coming down my timeline from these trolls. They cannot handle that everything that those rags, everything that those grifting liars, have told them isn't coming to fruition. Harry and Meghan continues to thrive, to be happy, to just enjoy their best life, and they cannot handle it. They can't. I'm telling you, I was going back and forth with a troll on X, formerly known as Twitter, and let me tell you, she was freaking out. And this woman, I swear, looked like she died maybe 5 years ago, and she is just a walking corpse. She looks just that bad. And I believe that is the reason why they hate on Meghan, is that their life is not what Meghan's life is, and they are so hardcore jealous that it is all consuming for them, to the point where they make up these fever-minded lies to make their own selves feel better. My theory. But yes, I was going back and forth with her. I had such a good time. I did. Because I wore her out. I did. I tore her up. And I am not the only one. Squatties are doing it. The squatties are having the best time on X, formerly known as Twitter, the one that I lovingly call the sewer because it's a little more relaxed over there. You can really, really go in and not go to Twitter jail like you used to. You used to couldn't say anything. You would be in Twitter jail. I'm telling you, I spent more time in Twitter jail than I did on the outside. in days gone by, but they have relaxed it quite a bit. And let me tell you, I be going in and it is so much fun. But like I said, I'm not the only squatter having fun. Woo, I saw some threads. Squatties was going for the neck, dragging them. And I mean skull dragging those trolls, those arrangers, those ugly old hags, those skanks. I'm telling you. And a few of the flying monkeys was not above getting the skull dragging as well. I kid you not. We are having a good time over there on X, formerly known as Twitter. And yes, we got other stuff we're going to talk about. Looks like Willie Leaks and his mannequin, they dropped a video. I have not watched it. I am not going to watch it. I am not going to feed into that nonsense, but I'll tell you what the squatties are saying about it, what has been said about it. But ask me what's on it, I have no idea because I will not give them the click. No, I will not. I refuse to. Because what I have saw of it, it is just nothing but more single white femaling Megan. That's it. Copying Megan. I mean, no shame. No shame whatsoever. She's out there in the flowers, out there in nature. Stop it. It is so ridiculous. And then we're going to talk about what we thought was going to happen did happen. Now they're accusing Megan of stealing Christmas. Yes, we gonna talk about that. They even wrote an article, I kid you not. And then also we're gonna talk about the big rejection of Chuck. Yes, he got a huge, huge rejection from his subjects, and we're gonna talk about that. And we just other little things we're gonna pick up on, and it's also another American bride has shown their British in laws that she is not having it. And we're going to talk about that. I know that doesn't sound like anything that y'all know what I'm talking about, but hold on. You will when we get to it. All right, y'all, let's get started. Like I said, we're not going to be here long, but we are going to have a good time. Buckle up. It might get a little bumpy, but we're going to ride it all the way to the beach. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up first. We're going to start with this. And this is from Forbes magazine. And I must say, I am disappointed in Forbes. It seems like more and more of the U.S. media is following suit from those rags over there. And we know that they are full of lies. And the whole scenario of somehow this is a downgrade of a contract that Harry and Meghan has obtained from Netflix. They know that's a lie. In my podcast last night, I proved that it was a lie. It is the standard deal that all Hollywood, big wigs, A-listers get. It's the same one that Tyler Perry got. It's the same one that the Obamas got. It's the same one that Margot Robbie got. It's the same one that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got. And none of them was reported on as a downgrade. But somehow Harry and Meghan's, their contract is a downgrade. And this is what Forbes said, which is a huge disappointment. This is what they said. The new deal is worth less than the initial $100 million agreement between the streamer and Archwell Productions, which is a lie. Number one, they don't know how much the first contract was worth. This is something that they pulled out of their butt on Fleet Street. And number two, if you don't know what the first deal was, how do you know the second deal is less? And we all know that the second deal is way better just because of the copyright portion of it, meaning that Harry and Meghan gets to keep their intellectual property, meaning they get to keep everything that they create. This is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is ongoing. Do you not know how many years that Harry and Meghan, if it stopped running on Netflix, we'll take for example with Love Meghan, stop running on Netflix, well, they can take it to Paramount. They can take it to Disney. They can take it to all different streaming services. They can take it to Lifetime, you know? And so they're going to constantly make money off of their work because they own it. But they want to try to play dumb. And it is so disappointing for me, for a legitimate news organization like Forbes to just succumb to this nonsense. But I'll tell you what, one thing I cannot wait for Forbes to report on, and that is that Meghan's company is $1 billion company. What a great day. I'm just saying. Because they wanted to talk about downgrades, the squatty said, okay, if y'all want to speak on downgrades, let's speak on downgrades, and started to post stuff like this. I'm going to put it up. Look at this. Yes, this is a downgrade. If you want to talk about downgrades, this is a downgrade. If you want to talk about a downgrade, I saw one squatty. I mean, they did a whole breakdown of why the present Princess of Wales is such a downgrade from Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales. Yes, and boy, did they have the points. Because this one is lazy, lazy, lazy. Didn't have any accolades to her name. Walk around like she is in a daze most of the time and cannot tie together 2 or 3 sentences. I mean, she has not done anything. Diana was walking in landmine fields. Yes, Diana was championing HIV, going to hospitals, holding the hands of AIDS patients when it was unheard of doing, showing love, compassion. Yes, Diana was the epitome of a Princess of Wales. She set the bar really high. And let me tell you, Kitty Cat has not come anywhere close to it. William failed when he chose someone to fill his mother's shoes, and Kitty Cat can't even speak her native tongue. I mean, she has no accolades to her name. None. You put her up against all of the women who are presently on the throne or heirs to the throne to become queen of their nation. And if you look at their resumes and look at Kitty Cat's resume, it's embarrassing. It really is. So if you want to talk about downgrades, let's look at Kitty Cat. And most of all, the biggest downgrade of them all is the horse. From Queen Elizabeth II to the horse. Charles should have been embarrassed. He should have kept to his word and made this woman the princess consort. She shouldn't even be anywhere near the word queen. When you compare her to Elizabeth II and this woman was literally drunk on the streets of Scotland last year. Elizabeth II would have never. Like I said, you can say a whole lot of things about Betty, but you cannot say she did not fill her role. She absolutely did. She knew how to be queen. And this particular squatty that posted this said this: you really want to talk about downgrade? Yeah, so y'all really want to talk about downgrade? Because we can talk about Kitty and we can talk about the horse. That's downgrading. I'm just saying. And then this other squatter came up under here and said, so glad I kept this. Thanks, JD. Now they're talking about this, what I ordered and what I received. Exactly. The Temu version. Yeah, she is the Temu version of Queen Elizabeth II. I cannot. So don't talk to us about downgrading unless you really want to have a conversation about the women of Windsor. Or should we just call them the witches of Windsor? I'm just saying. Get out of here. I'm going to put this up. And this squatty said, not surprising, the UK tabloids attempting to spin and downplay Meghan's success and popularity, and not mention that the new trailer for With Love Meghan has racked up 3.9 million likes in 24 hours. There you go. Almost 4 million likes. That's not views, likes. Can you imagine any one of those people over there doing anything close to that? I cannot with these people. They continue to try to get us to believe that Harry and Meghan are the unpopular ones. I just saw another emotional support poll come out the other day. Same old nonsense. Kitty Cat's supposed to be so popular, her and William. And then comes Charles and Cammy and on and on and on. The same old nonsense. And of course, Harry and Meghan bringing up the rear. But they can't keep the ones who brings up the rear in these emotional support polls. They cannot keep their names out of their mouth. They keep on peeing on our heads and try to convince us that it's raining, but it's not working. Okay. And it is just ridiculous. And this right here proves that anything that they say is nonsense. And this is why they keep on talking about them. Because let's not get it twisted. Those left behinds over there, nobody care about what they're doing. Nobody. And it shows, but yet and still, they still want to try to use propaganda to convince the people that somehow Harry and Meghan are not the stars of the show. But yet and still, they can't keep their names out of their mouths. And every time Harry and Meghan puts a point on the board, it's supported. We get numbers like this, 3.9 million likes. They need to stop it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this is supposedly came from Harry and Meghan's comm team. And this particular squatty said, laugh out loud, I love their new comm team. And this is what the comm team supposedly said. Harry and Meghan are still box office despite what the British press might want to think and prefer to promote a negative agenda, the source sniped. Netflix would not have renewed the deal if they thought the Duke and Duchess of Sussex wouldn't sell. The comments concluded. Yes, yes, yes. They are. I'm with this squatty. I'm loving the new comms team. This sounds like it may become for them. And like I said, what they said is absolutely true. Netflix is in the business of making money, not giving money away, not um, giving money to people or to invest in people who are not going to make the money. And like they said, Netflix would not have renewed the deal if they didn't think that the Duke and Duchess wouldn't sell. It doesn't make any sense, but we all know that they want to make lemons out of lemonade over there. They absolutely do. I love this. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and it's just what we predicted in my last podcast. Yes, that somehow Megan having a Christmas special is a slight to Kitty Cat. And this particular squatty posted about this article that was in the Fail saying Meghan and Harry hijacks Christmas after new Netflix deal. Expert. Meghan and Harry has hijacked Christmas. I don't know. I thought Christmas was for anybody who was of the Christian religion or anybody who chose to celebrate the holiday. When did it become exclusively the royals over there? When did that happen? When did it exclusively become kitty cats? And this particular squatty said after Prince Harry and Meghan extended their Netflix deal, the grapes have turned extremely sour in the UK. They are accusing Prince Harry and Meghan of hijacking Christmas. Yes, really. And since when did Kate and the Royals own Christmas? Yes, since when? Did I miss that memo? Because evidently it happened without the knowledge of the world. The whole world missed that memo. These people, the level of arrogance that they have. I mean, why does it always have to be a competition? And sometimes I think about that. Why do they make everything a competition? Especially when they know they're going to lose. It is weird to me. If I knew that I was subpar, if I knew that I was mediocre, I would not make everything a competition. You're setting yourself up for heartache, for heartbreak. And they do it time after time after time because we all know Kitty Cat cannot compete with Meghan. Her staff cannot compete with Meghan's staff. And Meghan come up with so many creative things. That is the reason why they copy her all the time. They copy Harry all the time because they do not have the ability to come up with any new ideas or anything on their own. And yet and still, they still don't have the sense or the wherewithal to not make everything a competition. They set themselves up for failure. But most mediocre people do that. I'm just saying. And another squatty came up under that one and said, I didn't know that the Windsors and Lazy Kate had monopoly over Christmas. Nobody did. I'm telling you, since that family think they own everything. I mean, they have colonized so much, they think that they own stuff that they don't. Christmas is supposed to be theirs. And let me say this, anything that Meghan does will top that Christmas Carol concert of kitty cats. Did y'all get the highlights from it? Them standing there singing with a candle. That was supposed to be them bringing it home. That was supposed to be the big finale. And then they had the entrance, where they came in and all the lights was flashing. Ooh, how sad, how sad. I'm just saying, it's really no competition. Putting Kitty Cat up against Megan is like putting a kindergartner, no, a toddler, up against a full grown woman, a full developed woman. Because at the end of the day, she does not stand a chance because she hasn't had an original idea in her whole life. And that staff of theirs is so mediocre. They are equally as mediocre as their primaries. And that right there is what makes them so sad. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna put this up. This particular squatty posted the article, and the article said Meghan and Harry hijacking Christmas after new Netflix deal expert. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have secured a renewed deal with Netflix, but it is not clear how much money they will be getting for it. Well, at least they told the truth about that. And this particular squatty that posted it said this: "Oh, yippee. We have another version of Africa is Mine." Where is the lie? Y'all remember when William was telling Harry that he could not do anything in Africa because Africa was his thing. Y'all remember that? A whole continent was his. I mean, the mentality is absolutely mind blowing. And now, not only have they colonized a whole continent, they have colonized a whole holiday and the most popular holiday of the year. Wow. Now that they have taken possession of Christmas, I hope they allow us to celebrate it too. I'm just saying. I cannot with these people. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this was in the Telegraph, Royal Family. And it is talking about Kitty Cat and Willie Leaks new video that they posted over there on Kensington Royal. And it is her cosplaying Meghan and Harry. This is what they do. Look at her out there in the flowers, doing all that. Never even thought about any of this until Meghan started her gardening and started her lifestyle brand. But here we are. This is what the Telegraph said. The Princess of Wales has said summer is a reminder of the potential of growth and should be used to ignite our inner fire. Yes, that's what this whole Cialis commercial shampoo video is about. And the title of this article is The Princess of Wales Says Lives Flourish with Love and Friendship. Now, we all know that this is nothing but her copying Meghan. When has she ever talked about friendship until Meghan started talking about friendships? This is what With Love Meghan is: cooking and enjoying your friends. Yes, bringing her friends into it. This is nothing but copy and paste. Look at her out there in the flowers. I mean, does these people not know that we can see them? Does these people not know that we're not so thick that we don't see what they're doing? That they are copying and pasting someone else's life? And it's weird. It is absolutely weird that they do this and they think it's okay. I mean, her and William both, it is so weird to me. It's the first time I ever saw two people so obsessed to the point where they copy another couple's life. I can't. I have said this time and time again. Harry and Meghan need to keep their security and their alarm system on point, because with Willie and Kitty, the level of obsession that they have for Harry and Meghan will wake up and they're in the back of a van somewhere, and Kitty and Peggy will be living in their house in Montecito. It is getting to be that bad. It is getting to that point because I have never saw anything or anybody who blatantly copies another human being like this woman and that man over there copies Harry and Meghan. It is creepy. It is weird. It is psychotic. It really is. And I have said this time and time before, if they was not the Princess and Prince of Wales, they would have a restraining order against them because Harry and Meghan would have grounds. This is crazy. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up, and this particular squatty reposted her own self. She originally said this: what does it say when the Princess of Wales require her sister-in-law to make an announcement before she does any work? Where it's a lie. And it's really not work because we all know this is all pre-recorded. This is all set up to be released while they're on vacation. So it doesn't look like they are as lazy as they are. But then this squatty came back and said, even the royalist subs on Reddit can't get it up for Kate's Summer of Love commercial. Even her own fans are not into this nonsense because it's blatant copying. This is copycat. This is duplicate at her finest. And everybody can see it except them. They think we're so stupid that we don't see her stealing Meghan's persona, her whole personality, everything. I mean, it's there for anybody to see that this woman is trying to steal Meghan's whole existence. It is weird. I said that earlier. It is strange. It is creepy. I can't. I mean, and they do it with no hesitation. I mean, it's as if they think people are so stupid they don't get it. They can't connect the dots. But they make it so easy to connect the dots. Weird. And this squatty said, let me get this straight. Prince William and Kate Middleton dropped a summer video, honeybees and all, one day after Megan Sussex and Netflix announced and released a preview of With Love Megan. Megan season 2, and all of the anti-Sussex trolls are thrilled. God forbid if it was the other way around. True, because they would have had a hissy if Megan had came in the next day and made any kind of announcement. But let's roll this back. Like I said, I hadn't saw the video. I'm not giving them a click to go over there to see it, but don't tell me they had honeybees in it. Don't tell me that they had honeybees in it. Said honeybees and all. These people. Tell me what y'all think that they had honeybees and all. I cannot. And this squatter came up under it and said they only did it because of Megan. They are as dumb as they are predictable. Where is the lie? They're dumb. They are, and they think we're dumb. And that right there is the big gag. That is the gag of it all. They think we're the ones that dumb. We can't see what they're doing. It is so strange. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. This is the big story of the day. Look at this article that this particular squatty posted. It says King Charles III, over 46,000 public bodies spurn offer of free King Charles portrait. Yes, you heard it right. Over 46,000 different libraries, colleges, public, buildings and, public entities. They offered them a free picture of King Charles to put up in their establishments, in their organizations, in their public buildings, in their churches, daycares, on and on and on. And they refused. It says exclusive cabinet office refusing FOI request to disclose exactly where the pictures did end up amidst falling public support for the monarchy. Well, like I said, that is not a surprise because they keep telling us these polls, this YouGov poll, this emotional support poll, is that they're so popular, they're above water. But when it's the real poll comes out, the barrier poll comes out, people barely show up. And now they're saying that they don't even want to hang Charles's picture in any of their buildings, any of their organizations, their colleges. That nobody wants it. And this particular squatter that posted it said this: I can't stop laughing. Don't believe the polls. YouGov is a propaganda machine for the royal family. Exactly. Why is it when stuff like this happens, it just doesn't jive, as we say here in America? It is just not congruent with what we're seeing on the ground. Every time the public is engaged, they show exactly how they feel about this family. And it's not very much. 46,000 public bodies refuse to have anything to do with a free picture of Charles. I kid you not. And I found this was posted by Femanagra, and it says 46,000 said no thanks to King Charles' portrait. Here's why it's awkward for the monarchy. And we're going to read just a little bit of this article, but yes, how embarrassing is that? And this is what Femanagra said. It says the government hoped to celebrate King Charles III's reign with a nationwide portrait scheme. Every town hall, hospital, university, church, and even job center could display a framed image of the monarch at no cost. Ministers framed and offered as a way to honor our ultimate public servant. The Cabinet Office allocated £2.7 million to fund the project. 2.7 million. That right there is the problem. When people are having problems feeding their kids, keeping a roof over their heads, trying to find a job. I mean, come on now. And you're going to allocate 2.7 million pounds for a framed picture of Charles? This is how these people think. It's the same mentality is that they have when they go to different countries. They give the gift of themselves. Y'all remember we saw when I think it was Sophie and Edward went to the Caribbean, and they gave one of the prime ministers a picture of themselves. And his look said it, the look on his face said it all. Why? Why are you wasting money like this? It makes no sense. And it goes on to say, yet more than 46,000 public bodies declined the portrait. Only 31% accepted, a sign of waning appetite for royal imagery in public spaces. The refusal rates as drawn scrutiny because the monarchy still demands large taxpayer funding while public support is steadily dropping. Where is the lie? Eventually, something is going to have to give because it's going to come to a head, especially with Peggy and Kitty because they don't want to work. And the taxpayer is not going to continue to dish out their money in order for these people to live these lavish lifestyle, and they get a video every now and then while receiving reports of them off skiing in France and on yachts in Greece and on exotic island vacations. Yes, they're not going to continue to be okay with that. And I cannot wait. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna put this up. This particular squatty posted this article and said, when I saw this article for the first time, I had to look 3 times to be sure that I was seeing 46,000. I even rubbed my eyes after looking a second time. It was still there. More than 46,000 public bodies rejected hashtag King Charles portrait. Damn, that's a lot. It is. They don't want to have nothing to do with them, but yet they still try to pee on our heads and try to convince us that it's raining. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and I'm telling you, this has nothing to do with Harry and Meghan, but it's because I'm petty and I love it. I love finding this out. Y'all remember when David Beckham and Victoria Beckham's son, Brooklyn, married Nicola? I think her name is Nicola Peltz, and she is very wealthy. She comes from a very wealthy family. Her father is a billionaire, and she is American. And it seems that, we got rumblings that all was not well between her and the Beckhams, and that they were pretty much trying to get Brooklyn to choose. And Brooklyn did what Harry did and chose his wife. And look what has happened. They have renewed their vows, and they're saying because Victoria Beckham ruined their first wedding, that Nicola wanted to redo this one, and she did it, and only her family attended. They did not invite the Beckhams. I kid you not. Look at this. This comes from Entertainment Tonight. It says, because their wedding didn't go the way she imagined it due to family drama, their vow renewal was important. So that right there tells us what we had been hearing, the rumblings that we had been hearing about Victoria Beckham and how she behaved at her son's wedding is true. It was true. They said that she didn't want to design the dress. It was just so much. She wanted it to go her way, like it was her wedding. She was a mother-in-law Godzilla. That's what they say now. That's what they say. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular squatter reposted that and said, good for Nicola. Don't let your in laws dictate to you what you should and shouldn't do for your wedding, and surely not in your marriage. All right now. All right now. And Nicola is looking gorgeous, and Brooklyn is sticking with his wife. Y'all remember a few months back where they had all of these write-ups, all these articles saying Harry and Meghan was interfering with these two, their marriage. They had them over at their house, and it was just a whole lot of nonsense. And it ended up that it wasn't even at Harry and Meghan's home. It was at someone else's home, and Harry and Meghan just happened to be there. And it still was no confirmation that Harry and Meghan was there. I mean, it was just a whole lot of made up nonsense trying to tie these two to Harry and Meghan, because both Meghan and Nicola are American. And they just have a problem with Americans. They do. I'm just saying, but evidently they can't. They might have a problem with Americans, but they can't do nothing with us. I'm telling you, because look at Nicholas. Nicola is looking beautiful, and she still has her man. She does. And if she learned anything from Megan, I'm not saying she did, because I don't even know if Megan even know them or not. But if she did, she learned how to keep her hands firmly gripped and tightly on her man. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And the original post said, wait, so the rumors about Victoria Beckham ruining Brooklyn and Nicholas' wedding were true because they just had a second wedding and only invited the Peltz family and friends. I wonder how that went down. Well, I would say across the pond, but the Beckhams, they don't live across the pond. They live here in America. They sure do. I think they live in Florida. I just wonder how it went down. And the squatty that reposted this said, I give Brooklyn and Nicola a solid 10 out of 10. No notes, 5 stars. Squatties are so messy. They are. They are messy. And they love a mess. And so do I. And it didn't take long for them to try to tie Harry and Meghan into it. Look at Richard Maureen Eden. Look what he posted. How long before Harry and Meghan stage a similar marriage vow renewal ceremony with no members of the royal family invited? Well, Richard Maureen Eden, they already did that. They did it prior to that wedding that y'all did everything that y'all could to stop. Yes, yes, they did that. They did it before. Brooklyn and Nicola is just following suit because Harry and Meghan did theirs before the marriage. I'm just saying. And this squatty that posted it said this. Meanwhile, in the Garden of Eden, another made up BS non story to entertain the royal watchers and the trolls and the derangers and the ugly old hags and all of the smelly skanks. Yes, the toadies and the minions as well, to entertain them because it is such a non-story, like this squatty is saying. All right, y'all. And while they are talking about Harry and Meghan, saying Harry and Meghan are downgraded and all the nonsense and just absolutely just choking on Harry and Meghan's success. Harry and Meghan is still out here doing good through Archwell. I'm gonna put this up. Look, Archwell was out filling up backpacks and fueling dreams, the Archwell Foundation. And this is what they were doing. It said this comes straight off the Archwell website. It says to kick off the 2025 school year, the Archwell team rolled up their sleeves with Big Sunday, a Los Angeles based nonprofit that believes everyone has something to give. Their mission connects people through acts of service that strengthen community, improve lives, and remind us we all belong. In celebration of Big Sunday's 16th anniversary back to school week, we joined hundreds of volunteers to help level the playing field for under-resourced students and schools. Together, we packed backpacks brimming with essential supplies, bundled pencils, and wrote heartfelt notes filled with encouragement, hope, and joy. Reminders to each student that they are seen, valued, and capable of great things. Yes, this is what Harry and Meghan and Archwell is out doing while they are tripping over themselves and gagging on Harry and Meghan's success. Harry and Meghan are out here doing good. And I love it. I do. And I'm going to put this up. This is what the squatties are doing. It says the mood of all Meghan and Harry supporters right now. Sussex supporters remain blessed and highly favored. We chose the right team. Yes, we are here celebrating and enjoying the victory. The victory. Yes, victory is ours. It is. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.